competing on LAN in big tournaments, just not in this game, and he gets slotted in, and they just don't lose anything else after that.
To make this to have even greater impact for anyone who doesn't quite get it, he not only played Overwatch, but he played Apex professionally, and then he joined Orangutan in South Asia and didn't get really anywhere for Valorant, right? So like he's always kind of just been around, and then he suddenly does this where he's like the best player on the team throughout the year. It's just insane that he can provide that leadership, and it just goes to show it's similar to I think what a lot of Pacific fans felt with Gen G, where it's like sometimes you just need the right combination, right, in the right environment, and it makes a world of a difference. But before we move on, because I know this whole neon, abusing neon debate is really big right now, just overall. I just want to showcase that, first of all, yes, they were abusing, like there's no doubt about that, but also bring out this comp with neon in it, right, and it's a double controller, and it's just out off the walls. But even then, what you see them doing is they just kind of dump all their utils to just get into the sites, and then the neon's able to go deeper. You're able to get further reach. You're able to go faster. So all you need is a couple of smokes, right? You're getting relay bolts. You're getting a couple stuns in, and then once you're in, I mean, you know you have the numbers advantage. I think that's what's interesting about this team, is that the reason they play either Deadlock or Cypher, or it's double controller, is that they know that we can dump our other util, right, our fighting util, to get into the site, and then if we just put up all these smokes a little bit further out, they're gonna have to use their util earlier to get in, at which point we will always just be able to trade them out and eventually just win out the round. And I think it's this understanding that they apply to every single map they play, that showcase. And I thought that was a really good pick against WRIO specifically, because that team's not very good with set plays to begin with. So it's just this understanding that they have of their own interpretation that I think really sends them further.
I'm worried a little bit about that style, the like all-in, full-send kind of style, because I don't know how well it translates really to tier 1 play. I think the better that teams get in terms of positioning themselves, throwing very quick counter utility, prepping against teams as well, and knowing what's coming. If your style is to be one of those all-out teams, we haven't seen many of them succeed over the history of Valorant. Paper Rex has really been the outlier, and even they are on the downward trend right now.
I was gonna say it's kind of that immediate trajectory upward, and then teams start really sussing it out. But I think that the thing that gives me a little bit more confidence about Compressa has just been just the ingenuity that they've had in that style. So it feels like the creativity is there to change things and continue to iterate on it if people do start figuring out their play style.
Yeah, and I think that they kind of demonstrated that they can do a good amount. Like they definitely are more of the kind of Paper X fast style, but I think they kind of showed some like sign of
recently actually, and the game that was #1 in terms of revenue generation on if you take all of the world's Google Play Store and iOS Store and add it all together, all of that revenue, one game dominated it from 2019 to 2023, and they were only able to buy stuff through the Chinese iOS Store. So even though you were only able to access it through the Chinese iOS Store, it still had more revenue than every other game's stuff combined on Google Play and Apple worldwide. So yeah, China goes crazy for mobile games as well. So it's super possible. It's called Honor of Kings.
Oh, yeah. Of course. I've genuinely cast that game before they had ported it to English, so I had to cast it and the whole game was in Mandarin.
Yeah, they only ported it to English like
recently,
5 months ago.
Yeah, I had to learn every single character. I sat down with my wife because she fortunately speaks and reads Mandarin, and I had to be like, right, what's this guy called? I wrote it all down phonetically.
No, they'll pay us big bucks for advertising this. we can't be giving it to them for free. The revenue they're getting is absurd.
You could sponsor Platchat for $50,000 an episode.
So, how do you feel that Champions affected the Korean player base as well? Because we obviously saw that it got to like #2 in the PC button. Yeah. Does it feel like is there growing like player base signing up to the qualifiers and stuff for challenges and things? Because I know that was always really quite small.
Well, speaking of challengers, just as a quick tangent, F4Q is coming back. I don't know if anyone heard that, but 5K's coming back, Bozzy's coming back. So Jest has joined F4Q, so we've got some rumblings of a new F4Q who's going to be going up against their old teammate Bunny on Team IM. So we've got 2 streamer teams now gunning for it in Challengers Korea. But aside from that, I mean, I think I think that, but that also shows like 5K also, you know, wants to kind of help ride this wave of everyone getting interested. I will say just firsthand, if I ever go to a PC cafe every now and then, I see a lot of people playing Valorant now, right? Like that alone, I think. And I think the biggest promise is that you can tell how old each person is going to be by seeing what they play. Like we've come to the point now that if they're playing League, like you can tell they're going to be in their early 30s. Like League has become the Ajoshi game where it's just the middle-aged men playing it because that's all they know.
Whereas 6-year-olds are playing StarCraft.
Yeah. And all the young kids, like all the students, are playing Valorant. So I would say that's a big promise. I was hoping run some of the like outdoor activations at Champions. And there were a lot of people. I'm sure some of them were there for the guests, but they were like staying for the matches. They were interested in the matches during the break times. So I would say it's pretty tangible. I would say that the popularity is pretty tangible for sure.
Yeah, it's been, as Korean teams really have just done better at internationals, kind of starting with like DRX's third place finish at Istanbul into a little bit of an iffy year.
It feels very similar. Feels super
It doesn't,
similar.
but it's like such a different circumstance.
No, I agree.
Yeah, sure.
Like
But
Aspas is coming out of a really good year,
Yes.
whereas
I'm just saying.
Ye was joining after absence, like essentially, like
Yeah, a rough
played a
tier two
tournament
showing.
and then
Yeah.
like you know.
But continuing the whole gotcha narrative, I mean, your 5 stars will always get power crept over time, right? So if Ye got power crept, like I don't know what's gonna happen with
Aspas has been denying the power creep for a long time, man.
True.
Like,
True.
What, from 2022, like, yeah, he got signed in 2022. Didn't he? He was like a ranked team in
Yeah,
2021, but you can't really consider that. So it's like
No.
three years of being in anyone's list of a top player in the world. You know, like top 3, top 5, whatever you want to say. That's pretty impressive.
Yes.
Tragic if he fell off
Listen,
now.
I mean, there's a reason. There's a reason he's obviously like considered in the GOAT list for everybody, I would say. But the only concern I have is not even like I don't think it's career ending for Aspas, just because I think, let's say the team doesn't do well, like he'll pull, you know, the May of DFM where he's just farming enough that everyone will still give him the respect, right? I think that'll happen, but I just don't. See, I actually give a lot of respect to crazy guys in IGL, and if he's sticking around with it, it seems like they would. He just doesn't seem like an IGL who would utilize a player like Aspas, right? To me, it just doesn't feel that way. And
I mean, I can tell you,
just a shame to see.
Aspas is not going to be the kind of entry player who goes in selflessly for his team if Crazy Guy tells him to. Absolutely not. If Crazy Guy says, we want to play a super aggro playstyle where you lock Neon and you run in like all of these other Pacific duelists that send it, Aspas, no. It's like, I will entry how I entry. I will win 70% of my opening duels, and you motherfuckers can try to clean up. Hello?
Maybe this is, you know, maybe this is like a very selfless thing if it happens. Maybe Aspas has been looking at the league, he's seen the struggles, and he says, I can fix her. And he's going over to just show that like these players in this org, it has that potential, and all it's missing is just him, that magic touch. To just bring it all together.
He doesn't want them to make any other changes. He's like, the roster you've got.
Yeah, it's perfect.
All it needs is me.
Exactly. And look, if he goes over there and then Bleed ruins his career, we'll just change their name to Abattoir Esports and be done with it.
I think the issue is getting not just the right players around him, because the players on Bleed are not untalented players. Scary, phenomenally talented. You know, Crazy Guy, I do think he's super talented as well. Whoever else they've cycled through, right? Name any names you like. They've had good players on that team that have been successful in prior teams or have had success on Bleed when they were on the come up. But the issue is finding a coherent system where all the pieces fit together and a vision for how the team is going to actually play. Because I felt like last year's Bleed was visionless. They just looked like they had no idea of what their team identity was